Hi, gorgeous. So, a couple of days ago, I uploaded a video about my experience as a webcam model, or not my experience, but I was talking about um, ways to one of the parts of the journey, and I just wanted to thank you for the kindness with that response. It was really scary to put up. I have since taken the video down, and I'll see whether or not I feel comfortable on putting that up and putting more stuff and sharing more parts about my journey. That's a very personal part of the journey to share. So I've just been kind of testing to see what I feel comfortable with putting up on YouTube. And so far, it has been meditations from a previous version of me from years and years ago, or workouts. Actually, no, I think I took most of my workouts down too. So I'm just kind of just seeing what I feel comfortable putting out here on the World Wide Web again. We'll kind of see. And then I also, unfortunately, have experienced the previous times that I've uploaded, I've experienced um, people with larger followings in spiritual communities stealing my stuff and making it theirs. And so I decided this time around, I'm just literally doing the rep. Like, I'm doing the rep, I'm giving the rep, I'm trying to not pay attention who can take it, but since I'm mindful that people do take things, I want to be really responsible in the way that I give it to the world. Look at the growth of myself. And also, when I originally came up with the term, underneath your lingerie, I was working at Victoria's Secret, and I was like, all these women are thinking that we're essentially being hurt because of our bodies, but it's really about underneath it. And that's what I said to an associate. I said, underneath our lingerie. And I was using the metaphor about our bodies are made of the softest, silkiest, most luxurious lace in the world. And see, there's a story to everything. The whole story behind that was I had been talking, you can tell I'm definitely feminine energy because I can kind of dance, which is why I have my notes. So I'll turn to them in a second. I had been talking to a group of girlfriends and I'd been trying to describe to them about energies or things I intuitively knew. And I started making it to the analogy of being lingerie because I worked at Victoria's Secret for years and years and years. This is all coming together. As I managed I don't want to say chronic illness. I never want to claim that. I don't believe in claiming that. Um, but Victoria's Secret allowed me to have mobility because I could move from state to state and transfer my job at that time. I had completely put down that um, and within it, I created these videos to kind of help me with what I was going through. And so those are the videos, or some of those are the videos that you've been seeing released to YouTube. Trying to kind of stay within the realm here and not make this video too long. And so I wanted to just have a short conversation on how I use my softness and my femininity to heal my body, and I hope that things are just small things that can kind of inspire you in your journey, regardless of whatever your journey might be. So I'm someone who loves to talk with both her hands. So I'm just gonna put the microphone here, just relaxing today in my silk robe. So the first point is to relax yourself from strict standards. Okay, I have this high performance, pedal to the metal, personal trainer, bodybuilder, beingness, mindset, Olympic mindset, like meshed into my body, and I don't know how to take it out. I just have these ridiculous high standards that are probably not healthy for me. And I have to remember, not everyone has this, but I just have these ridiculous high, high standards. Just, oh, um, and, um, I was just got off the phone with someone, and they were talking about they're sharing like sometimes, especially when you are ill or you're recovering, it's about getting yourself to a new normal. But I personally just prefer to think of it as a new training plan. And I have to say, this is it's so much easier it is to be hard with yourself than to be soft with yourself. So, the soft girl life, I've taken that to mean as living from my parasympathetic nervous system, which is the nervous system where you relax, renew yourself, versus from using the sympathetic nervous system, which is how I lived most of my life under significant stress. So it's not necessarily that the stressful circumstances must change, but I'm using a different nervous system in it. I'm using the parasympathetic nervous system, the more that allows me to relax and be soft in a situation versus the sympathetic. But in doing so, it means I have to relax myself from strict standards. That's very, very hard for me. It's like switching from one stiletto to the other stiletto. And you're like, are you sure my foot is that size? Um, Number two, romanticize life. I believe in making life sparkle, sipping it like champagne, and sipping it now. And it's so, so important to have moments where you can romanticize your life. If you are locked for like long periods of time where you're inside, you can't do anything, and it's kind of like, but this cup of tea is so good and so warm within my hands, right? And it's just like, oh, or this fork looks so beautiful, or maybe make your meal beautiful on your plate. Like find small things to romanticize your life, and then maybe, in my case, if I had the strength once a month, go out somewhere and kind of do something fun, something that was, other than like collecting groceries or something like that. Um, Find and take in these small moments. And that's why I also was grateful for webcam modeling, because it allows me to, rest and earn some money from the comfort of my own home. But it's definitely not a fast money for anyone that says that. And then find the easiest way. So I am so bad at that. Find the easiest way. This is the thing. So I really wanted my blog to be anonymous. I didn't want to have my face on the blog. I wanted to like give that to myself. Because the hard part about webcamming is like, okay, I mean, it's your presence, it's your images like always up there. And I would love to have some kind of passive income where it's not tied to like me, if you know what I mean. That and a blog is like a diary. So it's kind of like putting your face on your diary versus your words on your diary. However, it's hard for me to have the strength to write up these blog posts. It really does take a lot of energy, and it's easier for me to talk to a camera. And so the easiest way right now is for me to talk to a camera. So what is just stepping outside of things, get outside of your mind, what boundaries you might have set up, what is the easiest way? And then treating yourself as a person. Often we are nicer to a stranger, to a cashier, a someone in the library, a stranger in the street, the post office man, than we are to ourselves. And I know the world's it's not a little shake of people like distrust and stuff, but a lot of times we, at least before everything shifted, we are nicer to other people than we are to the people close around us, whether it might be the immediate family members, whether it might be our friends. I can almost feel like the closer the person is to us, the less grace we give them. Whereas a stranger that we've just met, Sally from blah, 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 joins some kind of group that we're in, I don't know, training, tutoring group, and we give her all the grace. But the closer we go in, like if we have your friends, your family, then you, the harder the level of hardness we are in that person. And oftentimes the hardest, maybe I'm just speaking to myself here, oftentimes the person that we are the hardest is ourselves. So are you treating yourself like a person? Or are you treating yourself like an inmate? And I know that's kind of like, right? But just as much as I use the words underneath your lingerie for the energetics, the metaphysical look at things, especially the woman's body, the feminine body, not a lot of studies has been done on it, and I think it's because people can't see what's there. Um, and I'm able to a degree, and it's really absolutely delicious. And hopefully one day I'll have the courage to share about it. But also, I love the phrase because underneath your lingerie, because underneath your lingerie is your spirit, underneath your lingerie is your mindset, and underneath your lingerie is your soul. So these were 3 tips for how to use your softness and your femininity to kind of be with you. They can apply to not just a chronic illness, stressful times in life, really wherever you are, but hopefully it has inspired you to kind of just tap in, hear what your own inner compass is seeing. Thank you so much for being here, and please don't forget, beautiful, to make life sparkle, sip it like champagne, and sip it now. I'll see you next time.